Hello, welcome to episode 14 of the Health Revolution podcast, Creating Your Reality. Today, we're going to be talking about how our thoughts create our reality. And we're going to explore how certain thoughts can hinder us from becoming our happiest, healthiest selves. So, I want you to think right now to yourself, ask yourself, where am I struggling? And I also want you to ask it this way: where am I struggling? Because this is, I think, what you would consider a self-help podcast. It is here to help you. And I don't mind if you forward this podcast to your friend or coworker or somebody that you think might need this message. But I really want to challenge you today as you listen to think of that question: where am I struggling? And how can I use these principles to change my life? So before we get started, I just want to talk about what's happening in Arizona right now. It is hot. We have had a 26, I don't know, maybe today's number 27 day in a row streak of the temperatures reaching over 110 degrees. And some days have been significantly over 110, like 118. So car batteries are dying. We did fry an egg on the sidewalk. We've done all the things that people do in Arizona when it's hot. A lot of swimming, a lot of air conditioning. But last night, oh my goodness, it finally rained. It hasn't rained in the longest time, and it just poured and poured. And when we thought it was done raining, it poured and poured some more. We don't get rain like most people get, like a rain where you have an umbrella and you're walking around. No, this rain is like torrential downpour, huge drops. I was actually driving on the freeway because I was bringing my husband home from the airport, and the rain was coming in such big drops and going sideways, and the wind was blowing it so much that I didn't need windshield wipers because the rain was just blowing in the wind so much. But it did finally drop below 100 degrees, so that's been a nice relief. Okay, so you may not know this about me, but I graduated from art school in Philadelphia many years ago. I think 16 years ago. My major was painting and drawing, and I was okay at painting and drawing when I first started school. I mean, you have to turn in a portfolio to get accepted into that school. But of course, as I practiced and I went to class, I naturally became much, much better at painting and drawing. So much that I was almost embarrassed of the work that I sent in, that I submitted when I applied to art school. And in school, I learned new techniques, and I applied those techniques, of course, to the paper or the canvas. And not everything I created was a masterpiece, but I did enjoy those years that I spent refining my skill. And so today, we're talking about thoughts, and thoughts are sentences in your brain. Think about your life as a canvas. Okay. And your thoughts are the paintbrush. The thoughts we paint become our masterpiece. Now, you might say, oh, I'm not good at art or painting. And like, I don't want this analogy to get lost on you just because you're not good at art. You don't have to be good at art for this analogy. But just as I refined my skill over those years where I was in school, you can refine your thoughts. That is a skill to create a beautiful masterpiece, which will be your life. Or you could choose to just not learn these skills and just see what kind of results that creates in your life. But I'm here to tell you that this work has changed not only my perspective on life, but my relationships to be much healthier, my health, I mean, everything. So if it's worth it to you, keep listening and try, like I said, to see where you can implement these principles into your life. So our thoughts hold immense power over our lives. They shape our beliefs, they influence our actions, and ultimately they determine the outcomes we experience. The happiness of your life depends on the quality of your thoughts. I read that somewhere. I didn't make that up, but I really love it. The happiness of your life depends on the quality of your thoughts. So Brooke Castillo, she's the head of the life coach school where I got my certification and training. And she says the only thing that's ever in your way is a thought. Change that thought and everything changes. So a thought, like I said, is a sentence in your brain. It only has the power that you give it as long as you're believing that thought. I noticed this with art and with the painting analogy. The painting would not come together until I switched colors or brushes or added a shadow. And just that one small change would bring the entire piece together. So think about that. Your mind is the same way. There's a small switch in the way you think, and that could change everything. That could change your life. That can change your reality. So if you think you can't do something, really, you're only limited by your thoughts. We're going to talk more about this today. Your mind is very powerful. So I want to talk about filling it with positive thoughts. We're mostly negative by nature. I've talked about this before. We're 80% negative as human beings. That's our natural tendency to be negative. Our brain thinks it's very important to protect ourselves by being negative and looking for things that might hurt us. And 90% of our thoughts are repetitive. So with 80% of them being negative and 90% of them being repetitive, there's a big place for improvement about positive. I'm not talking about like positive affirmations. I'm talking about positive, believable thoughts. Every thought that you have is going to create your future. So just like every stroke of the brush is creating your masterpiece, every thought you have is going to create your life. So many of us harbor thoughts that limit our growth. And we're going to talk about that today, especially when it comes to your health. I'm all about talking about our health. So we're going to talk about some of these. So my son just today, he's 14 and he's been going to swim practice. School hasn't started yet, but they're doing like a swim clinic this week. And he said, I don't want to go to swim practice. And this is always his excuse, even though I know it's just because he doesn't want to work hard. But he said, they're doing stuff I already know, and I already know how to swim. And you parents out there are probably laughing a little bit, like, that's typical of a teenager to kind of sound like they already know what's going on and they don't really need to learn what's being taught because they already know everything, right? So, of course, I talked to him about the importance of practicing and showing up for his team and how much exercise helps with ADHD, like all the reasons that I wanted him to go to swim practice. But it wasn't until I talked to him about his mindset that he was okay with going. So I want to run through this with you. His thought about swim practice is, I already know everything. That thought is making some emotions for him, okay? Maybe it's indifference, maybe it's pride, maybe it's annoyance, I don't know. But when he's feeling those things, he doesn't learn anything. His brain is shut down to receiving the coaching and the learning and the information, what the whole reason that he's supposed to be going to swim practice. He's not going to get that because he's already coming in it with this thought, I already know everything, which is creating this indifference. And then he's going to be closing off his brain to learning. And then guess what happens? When he's thinking that he knows everything and feeling annoyed and his brain's shut down, he is creating that reality, which you probably guessed that the result is he doesn't learn anything at swim practice. He creates that for himself, though, by his thought. He actually proves his thought to be true. And that's where our thoughts get tricky. So we get trapped in a thought loop pattern because the more we think that thought, the more we find evidence that it's true. And the less willing we are to see it as what it is, which is just a thought, a sentence. Instead, we start seeing it as truth, like irrefutable truth based on all the evidence that we collect. So I offered him a different way to think about swim practice, a few different ways. I mean, because ultimately you have to select what thoughts work for you, which is what I love about this work. So as a coach, I can offer you thoughts that might work, but it's up to you to find those thoughts for yourself. So one of them I said is, maybe you can think, it's possible there is something I could learn today. Or you could think, I might already know the techniques for swim, but I just want to get stronger and faster. Or you could say, I'm here so my ADHD is better and I have better focus. Or I'm coming to swim because when I do hard things, I grow as a person. So my son is 14, like I said, and he's growing like a weed and eating all the time, and he loves buffets. So this analogy is really good for him. But being able to choose anything in a buffet is like his dream. It's heaven for him. So I want you to think about your thoughts like they're in a buffet and you can choose any of them. Yet, most of us, remember, 90% of our thoughts are repetitive. Most of us choose the same thing every day, day after day. Try to pick up another thought off that thought buffet table. Just get curious with what it does. You don't have to keep it and eat it every day, but just get curious with what that thought does. So to do this, try words like, it's possible that fill in the blank, or I might be able to, and fill in the blank. And I'm sorry, also, as I'm recording this podcast, my daughter is hosting a summer fun camp at my house, and my house is full of little kids all day long. She's having a super good time, but there might be a little background noise. I hope there's not, but if there is, just putting it out there that you know that my house is like summer fun haven right now. So back to the painting analogy, it's like we're picking up, when we have the same thoughts and we don't choose to change them, it's like we're picking up the same brush and using the same color of paint and using the same brush stroke. And we expect to create a masterpiece out of this. But you've got to change it up. You've got to ask yourself, how might I be wrong about that? Or how might a different thought be better? Or even, why am I choosing to think this way? And then comes the practice, just like with art, daily practice. And the more you practice it, the better you get. You have to practice identifying those limiting beliefs and changing them. So my favorite part about painting is that if you make a mistake, you can just paint over it. That's like one of the best things. And you can actually do that with your thoughts. If a thought isn't working for you, you can change it. And you know a thought isn't working for you if it's keeping you stuck. If it's not helping you reach your goals, or even maybe it's even preventing you from setting goals, this is where a coach like me can help you, because I'm non-objective to your thoughts. So life coaches are trained basically to not believe you. And I'm saying this in the nicest way possible. We'll believe that you believe your thoughts are true, but we're really trained to identify the reality, like the facts, and then help you separate that out from the thoughts that you have attached to it. And that's in a non-objective, non-judgmental way. And when we do this, it really helps shed light on how you can change, and how you can change your thoughts and change your reality, change your life. It's amazing. It's amazing work. So our thoughts dictate our actions and habits relating to health. And that's what I wanted to talk about right now. So for instance, if we think we're incapable of adopting healthier habits, like exercising or eating better food, we might not even attempt to make those changes, because those negative thoughts about what you're capable of, or what, sometimes it's dependent on like your genetics or your family history or your personal history, what you've done in the past or what hasn't worked. Those negative thought patterns, they become roadblocks to your progress. They keep you stuck. For instance, I coach on the keto diet, and I handle cravings and setting goals, all related to your health, mental and physical health. And I get a lot of people that say, I can't do that diet because, and there's all sorts of reasons. They say because of my allergies, because of money, because of time, because I have intolerances, because I already tried it, because it's weird, because what will my mother say? Well, because of my religion. They've even blamed religion for the reasons why they can't go on the keto diet. And I'm not saying you have to go on the keto diet, but I'm just saying these are things that are keeping people back. They're keeping them stuck from making progress. They want the results, but they're not willing to change their thoughts to get the results you want. So I'm going to show you how to do that because it's amazing. And I hope this helps you. So if you think this is a common thing that people come to me with, I'm working so much, I don't have time to focus on my health. When you think that, how are you feeling? You're probably feeling overwhelmed. And what do you do when you feel overwhelmed? Well, when I feel overwhelmed, I work long hours, I don't sleep well, I push myself, I burn out, I overeat or undereat, I don't manage my stress. Well, yeah. So when you are thinking that, feeling overwhelmed and not taking care of yourself and pushing yourself and not managing your stress, all of those things, you prove to yourself that you don't have time to focus on your health by not managing your thoughts or processing your overwhelm. So you further avoid working on your health. You cause more symptoms, more problems. You create that. You're creating that result of poor health and more symptoms and more problems just with your thought, I'm working too much and I don't have time to focus on my health. Isn't that interesting? What if you asked yourself, how might I be wrong about that? How might I be wrong about that thought that I'm having? Or who do I know that works really hard that also takes time to focus on their health? Use them as an example of what's possible. Or what would I tell a friend who told me that? If I have a friend who is really suffering with an illness and said, I just don't have time to take care of myself, I'm working too hard, what would you say to that friend? Maybe try saying that to yourself. It's possible that I could find time to focus on my health. Is that a good thought? Does that resonate with you? Or maybe this one, I deserve to take time to focus on my health. Or maybe what about this? I can make myself a priority. Wouldn't that be amazing? So I have people that I talk to about the program that I offer, and when they discover it's keto, they said, "Oh, that diet doesn't work for me. That just doesn't work." And so I talk to them about that because, like, what do you mean it doesn't work for you? I mean, did you ever have a coach before? Did you know how to do it? But just they're stuck with that thought, the diet doesn't work, and they feel sometimes like resentment is what I would say. When they're feeling that resentment about that diet doesn't work, they keep judging themselves or the diet, they're criticizing themselves or the diet. They avoid the diet. They find evidence for how it didn't work. They shut themselves down from even thinking a new thought, like it's possible that that diet might work. They're not even thinking about that. They have no forward motion. So it creates this frustration in this situation where the diet is not going to work ever for you because you're having that thought that the diet doesn't work. See that? That diet doesn't work, and it creates all of that result for you. Now, some of you might be thinking, well, Allison, you just don't understand. I have this chronic illness and there's no cure and my life just really sucks and there's no way to think about it besides this other way, this negative way. Maybe I know a lot of people, they're angry, resentful, hopeless. But listen, I have clients with arthritis, insomnia, anxiety, depression, chronic fatigue, celiac, asthma. Okay, so you've been diagnosed with this. What are your thoughts about it? And remember, we are pre-programmed to have negative thoughts. So it's very normal to think this sucks or this is happening to me and my life will never be normal. But what if you took the time to pause and look at your thoughts about your illness? What if you could think about it differently? And go with me on this. What if the thought about your illness, your struggle, whatever it is, mental, physical, what if it wasn't a negative thing? Your thought about it wasn't negative. Does that even is that even possible for you? when we consistently hold on to self-limiting beliefs and negative thoughts, do you know what that's doing? You're creating a breeding ground for stress, anxiety, and other physical symptoms, meaning your symptoms that you're already dealing with that whether it's, by genetics or nature or nurture, whatever it is, your symptoms could be made worse just by the way you choose to think about them. It's true. There's this cellular biologist, Dr. Bruce Lipton. If you ever want to look up his research, he has some videos out there that you might like. I can actually put his link down in the show notes. But he teaches us this concept. Your perception is more significant than your genes. I want you to think about that. Your perception, so the way you view yourself, your health, your life, has more influence on your health than your genetics. He has done so much research into brain power. It's amazing. But negative thoughts trigger the release of our stress hormone, cortisol, which when that's chronically elevated, I talked about this in episode 11, chronic stress, it can weaken our immune system and lead to more health issues or more severe health issues. So when we manage our stress, we can actually be supporting our optimal well-being. Isn't that amazing? Our beliefs about our body and health can become self-fulfilling prophecies. So if you want to believe you're well, you can work to achieve wellness. If you want to believe you're sick, you can create more sickness for you. And it's not just about physical health. Negative thoughts can also affect our mental and emotional well-being, leading, let's think about that, unworthiness, hopelessness, self-doubt. These emotional burdens exacerbate the overall health. Tony Gaskins, he's a motivational speaker and another life coach. He says you can't win in life if you're losing in your mind. Change your thoughts and it'll change your life. I love that. So I was on my walk yesterday thinking about what I wanted to share with you today. And this verse from the Bible popped up into my head. And so I looked it up. It's Proverbs 23:7. And it says, "For as he thinks in his heart, so is he." And I had always considered this verse to be in regards to like sin. Like if a person is sinful in their heart, like they have greed or jealousy or lust or something like that in their heart, then they're a sinner. But it struck me in a different way on my walk. I was thinking about this verse now in relation to what we learned today about thoughts. As you think, that is what you are. You create your reality with your thoughts. So this concept is not new. It's not a newfound principle. It's been there in the Bible all along. And I love, so that got me to think about like, what do other religions have to say about our thoughts shaping our reality? So then I looked into the Bhagavad Gita, the Hinduism scripture, and it says a person is made by his belief. As he believes, so he is. Does that sound familiar? So interesting, right? And then there's the Quran, the Islamic perspective says, indeed, Allah will not change the condition of a people until they change what is in themselves. And then Gandhi, he says, keep your thoughts positive because your thoughts become your words. Keep your words positive because your words become your behavior. Keep your behavior positive because your behavior becomes your habits. So guys, it's out there. We've been being told this time and time again. And it's time. If you're feeling like it's time to make a change, let's do it. Let's get coaching. Let's get some help. Look into it further. Read some self-help books about coaching if that's what you're comfortable with. But it's not something to ignore. It really is work It takes practice every day, like I said, to get better at it. It'll really change your life. So I want you to look at any amazing person in human history, someone that's made an impact. I was thinking about Thomas Edison, George Washington, Albert Einstein, Steve Jobs, more recently, Elon Musk, even Jeff Bezos. Okay. I'm not saying you have to agree with all these people and all their points of view, but none of them accepted what was considered reality. Because that's the thing. Like, so many people are like, oh, it's not realistic to think that way or to have those goals or to have those ambitions. None of these people accepted reality. Okay. They all changed what was considered impossible. Marie Curie, talk about an amazing woman. I mean, 1867 was when she was born in Poland. And this is a time where women were not given the chance for higher education, at least definitely not in the way they are now. And she pursued her passion for science and changed what she was told was possible for women. And this is a quote from her. She says, "Life is not easy for any of us, but what of that? We must have perseverance and, above all, confidence in ourselves. We must believe we are gifted for something and that this thing must be attained." I love that quote. She's such an inspiration. So I am going to give you a little emotional awareness boost right here. You that I'm talking to right now, you are 100% responsible for managing your mind. Okay? It's not the job of the things around you or your health circumstances or the news or your spouse or your boss or your children. It is you. You are responsible for managing your mind. And guess what? That's a great thing. That's great news. Why would you want anyone else to manage your mind? You really wouldn't when you think about it. You wouldn't want anybody else telling you what to think and what to believe and how to feel. You get to manage it. And it's liberating to realize that we have this control over our thoughts and we can choose to focus on those thoughts that uplift us and empower us. So just like that masterpiece painting, when you cultivate a positive mindset, it's going to require patience and practice every day. I will admit I am not that good at painting anymore because I kind of gave it up. A few years ago, I stopped painting and drawing. And I guarantee if I picked it up, I would know some of the skills, but not all of them. And I would be rusty. And that's a normal progression of being out of practice. So practicing this concept is just like that. You're going to practice it every day and get really good at it and never stop practicing for the rest of your life. But that's okay because it's a really, really good thing to practice and it has amazing, amazing results. So one thing to help you practice a positive mindset, gratitude. When you focus on what you're thankful for, you shift your attention away from that negativity and you actually will start attracting more positive experiences. You'll be more aware of the positive in your life, but you will also attract more positive into your life by focusing on what you're thankful for. Amazing. Mindfulness, that's kind of a buzzword right now, but it's just what I was talking about today, being aware of your mind. So when we practice mindfulness, you become aware of your thoughts, but this is the thing, without judgment. Do not judge your thoughts. You're just like, wow, that's interesting that I have that thought. You know, I'm curious why I hold on to that thought. I wonder where that thought came from, why I chose, somewhere in my core to start believing that thought. This is self-awareness, and it allows you to choose thoughts that are going to align with your goals. Okay. So I want you to repeat after me. I am deserving of optimal health and well-being. My body is capable of healing and thriving. I want you to invite positive change into your life. Tell it, you're welcome here. I've got you. If you ever want any help with any of these concepts, reach out to me. I am here to help you, and keep listening. I hope this podcast is helping you. Please share it to start spreading the word with other people that need this message. Take care, everybody. Have a great day. Bye-bye. I hope you found value in what you heard today. If so, please follow us and go give us that 5-star rating. It really helps us reach more people that need to hear this message. Also, if you're ready to make changes to your health and well-being, go check out our Fat to Fuel program. Our coaching program empowers you to make healthy changes to your life one step at a time. Go to fattofuel.com or click the link in the show notes. We hope to see you there.